Firstly, Sawadee Kap.
Sawadee Kap.
I'm here with President Asim, otherwise known as Asim, otherwise known as my personal favourite, Dana Brown.
Ah, my man, I love this.
Firstly, we have to get into, I know you explained a couple of times, the absolute carnage which has ensued the last couple of days. Can you please just take me through what this last fight week was like? Because they are hectic to say the least, but with everything that you've been dealing with, even more so.
It's been an absolute mess, and you know, I didn't bring it to light till today because I was really worried this event wasn't going to happen. You have to understand, we're putting millions of dollars to throw an event in Bangkok, you know, something very special. This whole thing was going to be canceled. 2 days ago, we had no venue. Our venue kicked us out. They say we're not allowed to do an event here. And because they said one championship's assistant, Chatri's personal assistant, called them, threatening them that we need to be kicked out of our venue. They contacted 5 different Thai government agencies to get this thing canceled. It was terrible. We had some serious people after us. I was being threatened that I was going to be arrested, as well as my work crew, and we lost many of our work crew because we didn't want to take that risk. We sent them back home, back to the United States. But I stayed here, actually speaking to my mom. She said the show must go on. So I was looking for some street cred. Hopefully I got arrested. I wouldn't mind, you know, go to Thai prison for a little bit. But we stayed here for the fighters. We're trying to give opportunity to the Thai people because one championship has worked like a monopoly, keeping all the fighters down, not giving them the opportunities they deserve, and these fighters are being treated like slaves. Finally, they're speaking out. Finally, the fighters are speaking out. But now I'm here to help. We're here providing the opportunities, and you saw our first show ever in Bangkok, Thailand. It was unbelievable, and the legends here are in love with it. Buaka sitting front row and saying, I must fight here. So it just shows what we're doing with the special event that we'll be able to throw here.
You are content king, so if you got knocked up in Thailand, I think there would be some good content off of the back of that at worst. But all jokes aside, I know that they've made some sort of threats before. They've taken fighters out of your shows.
We lost the fight of this show. We lost Sim Muin. Sim Muin's not signed to them. Sim Muin was our co-main event. This is the second time. One championship. We hear that they have taken our co-main event from us. First was Y2K Fairtex. Fairtex Gym called us and said, directly, Chatri directly called them and said if Y2K Fairtex competes for us, Fairtex fighters will never get an opportunity at one championship again. Now with Sim Muin tells us the same thing, that he was threatened, his gym was threatened, he cannot fight for us. It's absurd, it's ridiculous, it's illegal, and we're done with it, man. You know, Chatri tried to set up a call with me to make peace, but acting this way, there's no peace. It's war on one, and now I'm here in your hometown, and Chatri, you did nothing.
Well, that is a promo that you just cut out of nowhere, but how close were you to actually changing anything or maybe cancelling anything, or was your plans always to just go full steam ahead?
Initially, there was real thoughts about not canceling, but me doing this remotely. My wife and I were going to get a ticket back to Miami, and we're going to do this remotely from there to be safe. But it's not the same impact. And I decided, you know what? Put it all on the line, go all in. And if I get arrested, I get arrested. And it'll make for a good story, like you said.
I think one thing you've always done is gone all in, and it shows with the show, right? The fighters are loved, it seems. They're actually enjoying fighting in the organization, and the show is incredible. I know that you've wanted to come to Bangkok because of the fight culture and because of everything that's been going on. Now that the dust is sort of settling, how do you feel the first event went? Because from my end, I loved it.
Bangkok delivered. These Muay Thai fighters delivered. And that's the idea with Karate Combat. The mission is to create the roster of the greatest strikers on the planet in this rule set. It's a very unique rule set. It's very exciting. We want the greatest strikers on the planet. This is the first time that we had this Thai invasion. And you saw they loved it.
Yeah.
That, you know, Lord Zilla couldn't even retire. Yeah. He's like, no, I have to do this again. Everybody, Yadwicha came up to me and says, no, I must fight here again. So I just think that we're building something very special. I really believe in that in 1 year, we'll have the greatest striking roster in the world, and we will revisit Bangkok very often.
Last two, because I know you're really busy and I do appreciate your time, but I know a lot of people probably don't actually recognize with yourself, you are very much a martial artist at heart. You've traveled the globe, worked with the very best in the industry, and I know that the actual art itself means a lot to you. How special was it coming to a place like Bangkok and getting Muay Thai into karate combat?
It was very important, you know, because the prior administration at Karate Combat sort of discriminated against other arts. It was only karate, you know, and when I came in, that was the first thing I changed. I feel like we should allow all styles to compete under our rule set. If we're not, we shouldn't be scared and stop certain styles from coming in. Let everybody come in and let the martial art evolve and the sport evolve. And that's why it was so important to come to Thailand. If you want to call yourself one of the greatest striking leagues on the planet, how are you not in Thailand? How are you not signing these ties and all the athletes over here? This card was unbelievable. It was one of the bloodiest, most violent, most creative card I've ever seen. I loved every moment of it. And then also the culture and attitude here in Thailand, I mean, they're just wonderful people. I got blessed over here by a wonderful gentleman, by Master Woody. You know, he gave me this, he gave me a blessing. I feel honored.
You talk about the culture there. Last one I want to end on. You come to Bangkok, there's a lot of things people think of. The beaches, the sun, the food. You're going to have to take me through. What's been your favorite so far?
I absolutely love the food. Thai food has always been a favorite throughout my life. But I went to lunch with Burka today, and it was the greatest meal of my life. And by the way, I eat out. I'm a big foodie, you know. This lunch I had with Burka, the greatest lunch of my life. We actually put a video of our lunch. It was pretty fun.
You know I watch when it's food content.
Yeah. No, he's great. He's a great guy. And, you know, again, with talking about the culture, how polite. That's a legend. He's sitting next to me, and he's serving the food for me. He will not allow me to serve myself. And it's just like, I don't understand this culture. It's so special. It's amazing. And I want to make this a home.
The last thing from me, just a thank you and keep up the good work, because I think a lot of the things that Karate Combat are doing differently is just really freshening up the scene. You're understanding that, creating a good environment here, not putting it behind a paywall, getting as many eyes and attention to it, and the product itself is fantastic. And one thing when I speak to you and even Faizan on the matchmaking and everyone in the team is the passion that comes with it. And it is not just at the top, it filters all the way down and it comes from you. So just a thank you and keep up the good work.
I appreciate it. I know that for some traditionalists, I'm a psychopath and I really go, you know, all in like you said earlier, and I do some crazy things, but it's all to progress the sport. It's all to bring eyes on the sport. And most of all, my dedication is to these fighters and these athletes and making their careers something special. So thank you very much.
As always, keep it casual.